It is Thursday, February 24th in the NBA, and I'm back with my 3 best picks of the day. Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot, and boy, does it feel good to be back from the All-Star break. As you can tell, not necessarily back, still in a hotel room, and there might be some background noise, but we're going to still get after it. Now, last time I was here, only pick I gave out was the Greek Freak, over 29.5 points. Cash that one, moving us to 20-4 over our last 24 picks. 47-20 on the month. A great month overall. Hopefully we can continue that. So run into the second half of the NBA season. And if you are new to the Calling Our Shot channel, we appreciate you for coming out and watching the video. And if you want to hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. You guys just keep killing that subscribe button. We just passed 26,000 subscribers. Also smash that like button too. We appreciate it. All those subscriber parlays will be coming probably tomorrow once we finally get back home and into the groove of things. Now, this video is a little bit tricky with everything going on in the world, and I'm not going to necessarily address that. We're going to let sports be the bright spot that the world needs, something to take our mind off of other things. But we're going to get the show started, and we're going to get into it. Now, our most recent video, I did ask you guys about COS, Calling Our Shot merch, and how to improve these videos going forward. I'll be responding to all those comments later today or tomorrow, so thank you in advance for everyone that commented on those videos. And as always, I gotta say thank you in advance to all the COS All-Stars out there. Now, you guys are the real MVPs. I'm gonna shout you guys out in tomorrow's video. I know there's a ton of new All-Stars out there, but it's hard to kind of go through the list on the road. But if you want to become an All-Star and support the channel even more, we would really appreciate it. Click the link in the description or click the join button on the channel. I'll shout you out in tomorrow's video. Now, last note, our weekly live stream is tomorrow night, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Definitely come out. I'll be answering all your questions about Friday's NBA slate. Got a ton of games on today, a ton of games on tomorrow. But without further ado, let's get into it. If you're curious, what has Austin been up to for the past week? Well, here's a photo for you guys. Now, yes, I did get engaged, and I appreciate all the people on Twitter that sent their words of love, words of wisdom, and all that, and whatever they sent. I appreciate all you guys' comments on Twitter for the people that follow us there. If you aren't following us, go follow us on Twitter at Calling Our Shot. But yes, welcome her to the COS family. Without her, the channel would not be here. So, a big thank you to her for all her support. If you're curious, her name is Trina, so show her all the love down below in the comments. We really appreciate it. Last note, still have some cool sponsorships, sign-up bonuses with BetMGM. If you want to use that one, click the link in the description. Also, PrizePicks, we are sponsored by them. If you want to use code COS, when you go to sign up, just deposit $100 and you'll get another $100 matched up to it. You get free $100 to bet with your other $100, $200, whatever. You get the intro. Long enough intro. Let's get into this. Let's get the show on the road. Don't force too many plays. Let's hope we can continue this run into the second half of the season. As always, do you guys research. And without further ado, we're getting into the best bet of the day, which is on a 46-21 run since the middle of December. And we're going with the man that we've already exploited this matchup. Drum roll, please. D'Angelo Russell, over 29.5 PRAs, minus 115 on BetMGM. Now, I have a feeling, and I've already seen this line go up on a couple different books to 30.5. I do not mind it there, but likely if you have it on 30.5, like I believe FanDuel and maybe one other book is at that line, I'd probably pivot towards 26.5 points plus assists. But that's just me. Do whatever you want. Minus 115 on BetMGM. Now, if you want an individual line, I would lean towards his over in points. Obviously, that's what we're going to need a lot of in order to hit this over, but I still think he gets it done with the assists, but points is probably the bet you're going to go with if you have just one individual line. Now, he takes on the Memphis Grizzlies today. Obviously, D'Angelo Russell plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it's no surprise it's the highest over-under on the slate. But we've taken this matchup before. D'Angelo Russell, I don't know what they did to what he did or what the Memphis Grizzlies did to him, but he said, you know what, I hate this team. He's gone out and exploited this. We took his over 26.5 points plus assists earlier this season. We didn't even need the point. We didn't even need the assist because he had 29 points alone. Now we look at Memphis and D'Angelo Russell. He's absolutely destroyed them his past couple games, but just this season alone in 3 matchups versus the Grizzlies, 38, 37, and 42 PRAs, easily crushing this line, whether you get at 29.5 or 30.5. Now, the previous 3 matchups before this season, 40, 36, and 45 PRAs. So he's cashed this in 6 straight games against this Grizzlies team, and Russell has absolutely dominated them in the past. And then you've seen going into the All-Star break, opposing point guards were dominating this Grizzlies defense. Now, we saw Anthony Simons with 40 PRAs, CJ McCollum with 43, Terry Rozier with 54, and in the same game, LaMelo Ball with 31. The list goes on with some other less talented players than a guy like D'Angelo Russell, who I do think is one of the more talented point guards or guards in the NBA. Now, it's no surprise the over-under is 239 points, the highest on the slate tonight. Now, both these two teams played with the 3rd and the 6th highest pace in the NBA, and it's no surprise that this over-under is going to be super high, and I think D'Angelo Russell will take big advantage of this. Now, this line has moved up because a guy on Twitter named Prop Bet Guy, one of the best prop bet gurus out there, definitely go check him out. Go give him a follow if you aren't already. He put out this play at PRAs as well, and look, and he gave out some of these stats, so I got to give him some credit. Now, both these two teams, again, top 10 in pace, and in those games, games in which Russell has played a team that is top 10 in pace, you've seen Russell average 33.3 PRAs in those games, going over in 10 of 15 of such games. Now, 3 of his 5 misses when he went under, well, they were due to blowout. And that's going to happen. If there's going to be a blowout, we're probably not going to cash an over. But this spread is only 3 points. I have confidence both these two teams can keep it relatively close. Now, we've seen some blowouts with these two teams have matched up in the past this season, but I think they'll keep it close today with Minnesota at home. Now, the Grizzlies have allowed the 8th most PRAs to point guards over their last 30 games. And like we said, D'Angelo Russell has a great track record against this Grizzlies team. Be a fast-paced game. And look, I can count on Mr. D'Angelo Russell today, over 29.5 PRAs. Now, he did limp into the All-Star break, but I think he's fully healthy, ready to go today. He has hit this over in 3 of his last 4 home games. I think he'll get it done. I think he can carry this best bets record. And we're relying on him to start off the second half of the season strong. And moving on to my next player prop that I really like, it's a little bit of an interesting one. We're going DeAndre Ayton double-double, -115 on BetMGM. Now, the second half of the season is here, and look, I'm trying to make amends to people that might have not been too kind to us in the past, people that might have trashed in the past. And it's no disrespect to Ayton, but he is one of those players, and I really like him. I actually really liked watching him in college, and I think he's a really talented player. My only problem with Ayton is some games he just doesn't try. And look, I swear there's games he goes out there and says, he picks up his 4 fouls and he's like, I'll take my paycheck now. And that's just how sometimes it is. But look, I think he can get it done today. And look, Ayton, if you needed an individual line, likely lean towards over in either PRAs, maybe rebounds. I think points is a pretty good one too. I'm just going with double-double for a couple different reasons because I think it's the most safe bet. But look, Ayton has a couple different motivating factors. Number 1, the Suns are without Chris Paul today, and they will be without him for a while because he's out for 6 to 8 weeks, I believe, with a thumb injury. And look, he's out due to injury, obviously, and while they still are going to make the playoffs, they have the best record in the NBA. They're not going to suddenly lose the rest of their games. They still need other guys to pick up the scoring load, and I think DeAndre Ayton will be there, and he needs to. Now, look, I think Booker is going to have, his lines are juiced. Mikal Bridges might play a pretty big role, but the guy that's going to be asked to step up is going to be DeAndre Ayton. He's their third star with CP3 on the lineup. He's their second star without him, and they're going to need him to play well. Now, the second one, and I think is a little bit more of a reason for Ayton to step up. The Suns refused to pay him this offseason, the past offseason after the NBA Finals. He asked for a max contract. They said, no, we don't think you necessarily deserve it. And obviously this didn't go well with DeAndre Ayton. Maybe he came into the season a little bit angry at management. But look, there's no better time to play better and show your worth than right now. Go on a great end of the NBA season, go on a great NBA playoff run, and the Suns are going to offer you that extension money, and I think he will do that. Now, my third reason, they play in the Oklahoma City Thunder, and now while they aren't necessarily the, set it and forget it center versus the Hornets, they're pretty dang close to that because they have not been playing defense at all against opposing centers, and that's why I think we'll see DeAndre Ayton get this double-double for us. Now, over the last 15 games, the Thunder have allowed the second most rebounds per game to opposing centers at 17.78 per game. They also are near the top half of points too. And so that's why I said lean towards the 10.5 rebounds, because look, if the Thunder go out there and get blown out, well, that means they're probably missing 100 shots in the first quarter, and hopefully Ayton is grabbing those rebounds, not Jay Crowder or Devin Booker and whatnot. Now, Ayton can prove me wrong, and he has proved me wrong in the past, but look, centers versus OKC just recently have just been licking their lips, licking their chops, whatever you want to say it. Jakob Poeltl, 20 points, 17 rebounds versus them. Mitchell Robinson, 14 and 17. Nikola Vucevic, 31 and 15. Joel Embiid, 25 and 19. Yusuf Nurkic, 14 and 16. You get the points. Those are all the last 2 weeks before the All-Star break. This team surrenders a ton of rebounds to opposing big men, and I think they'll continue to do that with DeAndre Ayton fully healthy. He has had a double-double in 2 of his last 3 games. The man loves finishing with 9 rebounds, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does it with 9 rebounds today, but still, I think he gets it done. He did have 19 points and 12 rebounds against OKC earlier this season, and his last game with CP3 dating back to February when, the last regular season, he had 15 points and 16 rebounds. I think he steps it up against an undersized Thunder lineup, and that's why I'll be relying on Mr. DeAndre Ayton. I think he gets the 10-plus points. Shouldn't be too hard. His regular line is 15.5. Should be able to get a couple, hopefully, offensive rebound tip-ins, but either way, like I said earlier, if you need an individual line, I lean towards over 10.5 rebounds, but I think the double-double is the best prop. I would not take the double-double prop past like -140. In my opinion, I would go towards the points plus rebounds, or maybe just a rebounds prop as always. But you guys know FanDuel always juices the odds for double-doubles for whatever reason. But I'll be taking this one -115, I believe, on BetMGM. I think that is the best line, so that's what we're going with DeAndre Ayton double-double. Now, if you guys wanted a spread pick lean, which I know you guys are always like hounding me in the comments, you guys know I don't bet a lot of spread picks, but if you wanted one, I'd lean the Pistons plus 7.5, not 3.5, absolutely not. But I prefer probably the under in that game if I had to pick one. You guys know it. I mean, obviously the Cavs are without my man Darius Garland and Karis LeVert. You don't love to see that, but they're going to struggle to scoring. That's why I think the Pistons can keep keep it close, but I don't really like betting on the Pistons, so that's why it's a lean. I don't know if you really want to bet on the Pistons. Do what you want with that. That's going to be an ugly game, and that's why I lean the under in that one. Now, my final player prop of the video, and there could be a couple others that I considered, but we're going to take it slow coming out of the break. We're going with Trae Young over 8.5 assists, minus 140 on BetMGM. Now, this would arguably be my best bet of the day, but I know this line is going to shift, and I already know people have already sent 900 comments and down below. Do you like Trae Young at 9.5? Yes, I do. Do you like Trae Young double-double? Yes, I do. I like all of his props today, but I like the 8.5 assists at minus 140 on BetMGM. I believe BetMGM is the book for all three of our props today, so definitely use the link to sign up for them if you haven't already. Now, I wouldn't pay the juice on this past minus 150 or so. Really, I don't love paying minus 140, but I think this is a pretty good pick, and I think we're going to take it. Now, I would opt for 10-plus assists if your odds get too juiced, or take the double-double, which is like plus 120 on DraftKings or Caesars. But look, this is an easy matchup for Trae Young. It is the Chicago Bulls versus the Atlanta Hawks, and it's no surprise this game is the second highest over-under on the slate. 235 points. Now, we picked against the Bulls defense all season long, and I'm sorry to Bulls fans, but they know it. Alex Caruso, Lonzo Ball still out. Patrick Williams also out. They don't play any defense, and they have struggled the past 30 games, allowing the most, or over the last 30 games, allowing the second most assists per game overall, second most assists per game to opposing point guards at over 10 per game. Now, the Hawks will be without Gorgui Dieng and likely John Collins, who is doubtful to play as of this moment. Now, hearing John Collins is out, you might think, dang, that's going to really hurt Trae Young's assists. And while it might necessarily, psychologically, you might think maybe, but no, that really hasn't stopped him. Trae Young has averaged 9.2 assists per game with John Collins in the lineup and 10 assists per game without John Collins. He's hit this over in 6 of 7 games without Collins. His only miss was the final game before the All-Star break when it was a blowout against Orlando Magic. Only played 25 minutes. I think he plays a little bit more minutes today, and look, 2 of those games, luckily without Collins, were against the Bulls this season when he had 11 and 9 assists, cashing in both of these games. Now, obviously, if it goes up to 9.5, won't only have cashed on one of them hitting on the hook. But in those games, dude, Trae Young had no help. He had Cam Reddish in one of the games starting, and Cam Reddish in the other game, and Bogdan Bogdanovic starting in the other one. So I think he gets a little bit more help here with Bogdan Bogdanovic coming off the bench in this one. Onyeka Okongwu, Lou Williams, DeLon Wright, guys that can actually knock down shots. In the previous games against the Bulls, they had no one else. That was just Trae Young, so he had to do everything. But look, I think Trae Young can get it done. If he wants to go out there and drop 40 points and just 5 assists, then so be it. But I think the Bulls defense will leave a lot of guys open. Maybe we get some Clint Capella lob dunks, whatever it may be. I think we see Mr. Trae Young get over 8.5 assists, and that's where we're locking him in as my third bet. Now, we have him. We have Trae Young over 8.5 assists, DeAndre Ayton double-double, and of course, D'Angelo Russell, best bet of the day, over 29.5 PRAs. I like all the lines that they do go up a tad. I do appreciate you guys all for joining the channel, and appreciate you guys for all watching the videos. We have an exciting second half of the NBA season going on. We're going to keep getting after it. I'll see you guys again tomorrow in the normal spot. We're going to keep getting after it. And as always, if you want to use those PrizePick links down below, we appreciate you guys. Help support the channel. If you want to become a COS All-Star too, we thank you guys. And I'll shout you guys all out in tomorrow's video. Man, oh man, it's been good to be back. But this has been Austin. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.